Haidong! In this video, we're going to talk about using your left hand in paper cutting. Longtime viewers might know that, again, I like to use my left hand, again, as a primary source of my power, right? So the left hand allegedly is, again, the hammer in your cut, and your right hand is the scalpel, right? So this should be able to cut pretty happily, right? Pretty much no matter what. So actually, paper is a nice way for you to kind of learn how to use your left hand a little more effectively. Now, this is kind of, again, inspired by Master Jenko in Pittsburgh, who was talking about using, again, one-handed cuts in terms of, again, getting that natural rhythm of the body. So he was also talking about speed and all those other great things, so again, I highly recommend watching his videos and stuff like that. But what I'd like to do, at least for this time, is think about, again, specifically the left hand and also using the pinky ring middle to really think about getting that nice acceleration at the beginning of a cut. Now, this is not just true for, again, paper cutting. This is going to be true for, or again, not just cross cuts for paper cutting, but for pretty much all of our cuts, right? So we want to be able to engage the left hand, use pinky ring middle to extend into a cut. Actually, a good way to get used to this is, again, for now, foregoing the paper. If you do have your paper cutting sword that has a nice blood groove to it, because it's going to give you that nice sound, practice going through, again, like Guang Sha Peggy, so 6-time cut, or again, a couple other combinations just to get used to, again, using just the left hand to generate that nice sound, right? Don't want to actually cut my paper yet. And notice, I still need practice, right? So I had a little bit of a drag over here, so I need to also focus on that a little bit more. So good things, right? So we can do the same thing with paper, right? So I'm going to actually zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm talking about with regard to, again, using this to get that nice acceleration on your paper cut. So just like with your normal paper cutting, right? So get your distance, maybe for now, actually stay a little bit further away, right? So I'm actually going to be slightly out of range, at least for now, because you're learning how to do something. It's better to be too far than too close, right? If you're too far, you just have a nice whoosh, right? And you're able to cut again without resetting too much. Obviously, they have a test or something like that. Make sure you have it right the first time. But we're learning, right? So like, all right, so we're here, right? So normally, I check my distance, check it once, cut, however many times I want to cut, reset, chuck them, and then pick up, right? But again, we're learning, right? So from here, I'm going to do, again, prepare. Now, no right hand, right? So from here, again, think about pinky ring middle as I extend out into the preparation, so the extension, right? So here, again, squeeze your forearm, bun, 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 bun. And then from here, cut, right? So this might be a little bit close, but the idea is, again, use that pinky ring middle to really extend fully, and then use your body to kind of curl in and cut, right? So from here, right? Same thing, right? So other side, pinky ring middle, pinky ring middle. From here, pinky ring middle, and cut through, chuck on, and, well, kenjuk, then chuck on. So you might notice that the cutting angles were right? They're kind of meh, right? So for example, if I kind of reverse engineer this, so I need to actually take a look at what happened first. So this was my left to right cut. So notice that it actually dipped down, right? So that might have been, I was kind of maybe afraid of hitting these guys because it might chip my sword. But all that, again, because of the cleanness of the cut, at least cleanness enough for me to gauge something, that means, again, something is forcing me to go downward a little bit. And we kind of raise it up a little bit, and this was my cut, actually going from my right to left. It dipped down, as you can tell, quite a lot, right? So again, all these things are going to be able to tell you a lot of information, but for now, just think about using that left hand to get that initial acceleration, right? Now your right hand, again, this is what Master Jenko was talking about as well, was, again, you naturally want to extend with the motion of your body to give you that cut. But another thing to add onto that, so especially when you are cutting two-handed, you want to be able to think about that pinky ring middle as you extend for your cut. So from here, so again, we were just talking about, again, that pinky ring middle, getting used to, again, that nice snapping extension. do the same thing with the right hand, right? So from here, again, get your distance, check, right? Again, pinky ring middle, so have that good preparation. Don't forget that preparation. From here, pinky ring middle, extend out and cut through. From here, pinky ring middle, cut through. From here, pinky ring middle, and cut through, and chalk on. Or kenjok, then chalk on. So notice what happened with the last one, right? So there's a little bit of tearage over there. So you might know, again, something about that cut wasn't that great. Again, these are kind of like prototypes to get used to, again, that clean motion of your hand. Again, this is probably the first time you're probably doing it for a while. So give that a shot, right? Now, before I move on to the next concept, I want to make sure because we just did this, when you do just one-handed for the right hand, be careful about hyperextension, right? Less so with the left hand. So because with the left hand, you naturally kind of stop it a little bit more. With the right, it's very easy, like, again, you can feel that hyperextension. So be very, very careful about that. Now, with that, so one more idea, so again, this is going to be linked with the left hand as well, is think about aiming with the very bottom of your sword, right? So like this is, again, so this is what Master Bergman, so again, Chief Master Bergman from Pennsylvania, right? What he was talking about is use, again, this almost like a laser pointer to go where you want to enter the body. Now this is also going to be true also for your normal cuts, right? So when you want to cut a diamond cut through something, like through bamboo, through your target when you're doing sparring, anything like that, same idea. So from here, think about this, again, the bottom of the sword, the extension of it is going to be hitting the edge, right? So from here, extend. Now this time, we're doing two hands, right? So again, still pinky ring middle as we extend out for that cut. But this time, also think about that extension from here, pinky ring middle, and cut through, here, pinky ring middle, cut through, here, pinky ring middle, cut through, kenjok, and chaka. Make sense? So again, that's going to be working on both sides. So here, also think about where that's aiming, making sure, again, if I wanted to cut this target, it would be hitting right there, right? But yeah, so again, keep those ideas in mind, right? So then the left hand uses the pinky ring middle. The right hand can also use that same idea, and also aiming with the bottom of the sword. And one more quick drill, right? So this is going to be just for fun, right? So obviously, yes, you can do your cross cuts, going up the paper. You can also try to do, reverse cuts across the paper. But one that I like to do, and this was one that I just did kind of for fun, is coming in, so cut and drop down for this one. So this is going to be working on that pinky ring middle pretty happily, right? Because if you just swing your arm, it's going to be very hard to, again, have that very precise acceleration. Versus, if I'm able to extend, right, so I actually want to hit higher up, so then as it's falling, I can cut that paper. So fun fact for this one, try doing your less happy side first, just because this one might be a little bit harder, but then you can kind of like crack it through with the other one. So let's just see if this works, right? So from here, I recommend double step in, cut in. That's the general idea, right? So obviously I would have liked to see it cut all the way through. But again, it's just going to be a fun kind of drill, right? So working on that pinky ring middle. Now as you can tell, that wasn't my first try, right? Because the paper has changed, and you kind of see the pile of paper below. But again, this is kind of like a more like trick kind of thing to try, but it's kind of fun. Give those ideas a try, right? So again, really focus on that pinky ring middle, at least with regard to paper cutting for now. Again, try with both hands, and also think about, again, aiming with the bottom of the sword. So with that, make sure you stay safe, keep training, and stay humble. Haidong!